Anyway, so these are the, oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't check what the polarity is on these. I didn't bother. I didn't bother before I pulled them out. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to extend these probably. And then this is the line right here. So basically the way it works is, I think it's a 10 mil. I used a 10 mil to loosen it, and then I took it off, and the line has this little brass fitting on it here that you put over it. I guess you have to clamp it down or something, I don't know, but and then that holds it in there, and then it'll seal it once you tighten it. I don't know if we're going to continue to use that. We'll see. I don't know. There's a good amount of extra, so we'll see. All right. So anyway, let's see how this gauge thingy fits in here. I know I'm kind of going back and forth. Oh, look, it fits in there pretty well. So almost. There's a bit of a gap, so it's not perfectly made. That's what I want to say, but it's close. It's close. I know that gap kind of it irks me out, but I think the gap will be filled by the Velcro, so it's cool. So hopefully there'll be enough room in there for this. Generally, what I have to do with a lot of the gauges is they don't fit very. You got to squeeze them in really tight places, and I have to take the studs out. I usually just cut it out with the Dremel. So hopefully we don't have to do that for this. So, all right, let me put the gauge in it real quick. Okay, so that's what it kind of looks like. That's what it's gonna look like when it's on there. Kind of like that. I like to angle the gauges. I like to angle the boost gauge slightly to the left so you can see that it's kind of sweep. It sweeps somewhere, you know, you can see it easily. Kind of like that, I guess. Or you can just put it straight up, I guess. Straight up and down works too, I guess. Yeah. But anyway, so the boost gauge doesn't really fit in there very well. The stud, like I said, the stud is hitting it. I think I want to put the boost gauge on the right, and then the air fuel ratio will be on the left. But it looks really good. I like it. So this is what I'm working with in there. See, not a whole lot of space, unfortunately. And does it actually fit in there? Yeah, it does actually. Kind of, well, actually the boost, yeah, the line actually doesn't go in the right place though. It's going towards the back of that. I wonder where that goes. I don't know, because I know there's a duct under here. And just in case you're wondering, this is what you call a barb fitting. This is what you use for rubber lines. If you were just going to put a rubber vacuum hose over this, a regular one, and you just screw that to the back. Where, yeah, you just take this big one out right here, and you put this here. I'd like to use the plastic one, I guess. Honestly, I don't think there's really a big difference. But yeah, so I'm going to try to move that boost line. And then we'll figure out what to do with this electrical connectors. I might have to find a different place to tap. Oh, I gotta do some electrical work today, and that's no fun. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find. I can either just tap where this came from, because I don't think wherever this came from, or I could just make the wires long for one of those. And then I'll have the O2 sensor doesn't have a light because it has an LED that rotates around. It doesn't need to, you don't have to backlight the face. So, yeah, so. All right, so let me go move that line first. Yeah, I pulled that plastic hose out from there, and it looks like we'll be fine. I think it'll reach. There's enough freaking plastic hose here to go all the way to the back of the car if I wanted to put the gauge back there. So I think it'll be okay. I won't have to make a new line, so that's less work for me. Cool. But yeah, it looks like they took this whole plastic thing and they just left it in there, so they didn't bother cutting it. So that's good. It's less work for me to do. So what I got to do is I got to get it out from here and then start sneaking it up here. I know, I'll show you how I do it later. So I was thinking of what one of the disadvantages to this plastic lines are, and one of the disadvantages is it's difficult to tap. You cannot really tap it that easily. Now, one thing you can do is you can take this rubber line. You take a rubber line. This one looks like it's too big for this. You could use a smaller one. You can take it and just push it over the plastic, and then do that, and then you can just convert it to a rubber line that way. But I don't have to do that. I don't think I'm going to be tapping anything else off of this also. So, all right. So I think that's one of the disadvantages. Other than that, I mean, I guess it's a cleaner install. And also, I don't think you can bend it that much. You can bend it, I guess. You can't bend it, but you can bend it, but you can't like fold it, you know. A rubber line, you can almost fold it, almost. Rubber lines get old and they crack after a while in the heat, but this is, like I said, this is going to be it would be inside the car, and it doesn't really matter. It's not going to be exposed to heat from the engine or anything. But it will be inside the car. It gets hot in the car too. Also you can see it's quite a bit smaller. It's probably like half the size of that line, so it takes up a lot less space. So that's one of the advantages of the plastic line. It takes up less space than like your traditional rubber vacuum lines. All right. Okay, so I've gone ahead and run the boost signal line, and there is a lot of extra line. If anything, probably don't want more than like that much is going to be in there, and it's going to be curving a lot. I'm not happy with that. Maybe if I could find a way, I might try to find a way to plumb it back here, because that's where the vacuum port goes, and then maybe we'll be good that way. I'll have to cut these studs out, so we won't be able to use this number anymore. So this is what was used to connect it before. Hold on. Oh, okay, so I see how this works. I've never really used this before. I usually just stick the gauges in there, but the way this works is it works just like this. So you put the gauge in, and then you put this bracket in, and then you put a little thingamajigger right here. Maybe we can just get a little easy one. Just tighten this here, and it kind of acts as like it pulls it through the hole, but it doesn't let it fall out either. Because this is actually bigger than the gauge cup, so if we do that, we won't have to use my little ghetto method. So make sure it's not very tight either. But the problem is one of the studs hits the back, so I'm gonna have to shorten that a little bit. If I shorten it enough where there's still some thread going through it, that's no big deal. So that's what we'll end up doing. I'll go get the Dremel and cut it. So I may actually still use this. I didn't think I was gonna use it, but you can still use it. You can do it. And if you wanted, you could even cut it even more, because this little thingamajigger here is pretty thick. Yeah, it's pretty thick. If you use just a regular nut, then you would have even more clearance. So I don't know why they make these studs so big, but maybe they want you to cut it down, you know. But yeah, so for now we're gonna go cut these studs off so it fits better inside here. And I'm gonna go try to find a better route for this one that goes back. I don't know what's back there, so I'll figure it out. The reason I want it to come out of the back part is because of this. See, it comes out here in the front part, and then I have to push the gauge back further to mount this. So, and then it's gonna start bending the line a lot. I kind of don't want that. So I want to try to get it behind there, wherever that is. So it's hooked up right now. So all right, there you go. I got it to work. So there it is. It's over there. It's coming out from the side of the vent there. See there? And then it doesn't have to come out at such an extreme angle. So that's good. Cool. And now I just have to fix the boost gauge, and then we'll figure out what we're gonna do about these lines here. What I may do is we'll just have to make a longer wire, I guess. We'll have to tap into that. All right, here's my gear. So here it is. Here I am in the garage, and so I've kind of mocked it up how I want it, and so what I think I'm going to do is we're going to cut it halfway, cut the stud halfway, like right here. Sorry, it's out of focus, but yeah, right in the middle of that should be good. Hopefully that'll give me more clearance on the other side too. It's really tight. Okay, so I've kind of marked it where I want to cut it, I think. Man, no, I think it's like right around here somewhere. If I don't cut enough, I can always cut some more. So I can see like right there. Right around here is where I need to cut. So I'm gonna go use my good old Dremel, cordless Dremel with the little cutting wheel on it, and let's just cut through that like that. Alright, I went ahead and cut it. There it is. The pieces are on the ground somewhere. They fell somewhere. Don't need them anymore. Alright, so we'll try to fit that in there. So there it is. I cut it. What I realized, it's the actual gauge. It's actually the gauge that's hitting the back of the pod. So that sucks. It's not. It wasn't the studs touching it. So it's okay. It makes it a little cleaner. So alright. So hopefully I'll try to clean up those threads a little bit, and hopefully we can get the okay, well, good news and bad news. The nut still goes in there, but I can only get one of them in. So if I rotate it this way, I can get it on, but then it won't clear this. I could probably grind it so that it'll clear, but alright, I got it on there. So and the good thing is the needle went back to 0. So that's it right there. That's one nut. So I could use a very small nut here to put it on there, but then I would have to use a wrench to tighten it, and that's a real pain in the ass. And plus, I still have to take this out to put the electrical wires in. So I'm gonna go with that for now. It's a little not in there all the way, but it's not coming out. So, and this is what it's gonna look like when I get it back in there. So pretty sweet. All right, so I got the line in there. I think it should fit. So now I think let's go mount. I'm gonna go mount this with some Velcro, and then we gotta go extend these lines. Yeah, I don't really know where else we can tap into this, but it's okay. We can just. It's only for the boost gauge. This doesn't. The air fuel ratio gauge. You don't really need that. So, all right, here's we go.